everyone, great to have you back here at Serving Up Plumbing with me, your master plumber, David Butler. Today, we're going to be talking about sewage ejector pumps. Now, we've talked about sump pumps versus sewage ejector pumps. We've talked about sump pumps. Today, we're just going to be talking about sewage ejector pumps. But before we do that, please hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and let me know what you'd like to see in the future. Now, let's talk about pumping some sewage. You know, all my plumbing career, all I've ever heard was people say, oh, all a plumber needs to know is that crap goes downhill and payday's on Friday. Well, I'm just here to tell you that plumbers can make crap go uphill. Today we're going to be talking about sewage ejector pumps, and that's how we do it. Oftentimes, we don't have enough fall. We might have to take out a septic system and tie into a city sewer, where now a place that used to be out in the county has come in and been incorporated into a city. They ran sewer lines out there, which is a great thing, but they didn't plan on that house having a sewer line. It's a long way to the sewer. We have to pump it. So, what is a sewage ejector pump? Well, we talked about sump pumps, and I'm going to try not to mention them too much. Therefore, storm water, groundwater, rainwater. Sewage ejector pumps are for this, sewage, just that. Wastewater, gray water, black water, whatever you want to call it. Water with paper, fecal matter, anything that's in it. Feminine hygiene products, all of that stuff can be in it. A toothbrush if it goes down. Now that might stop up your ejector pump, but that's what an ejector pump's for. Usually a sewage ejector pump will have a hole in it about 2-inch diameter. Well, now this hole matches up with the size of the hole that's in the bottom of most 1.6 gallon toilets now. So it's not like we've got something that's too small to pump what needs to go down it. If it'll go down the toilet, it should be able to go down the pump, right? Now granted, these pumps are not grinder pumps. Now, many times that's a misnomer. Guys call them grinder pumps. Yes, there are grinder pumps. There are macerating pumps. That's not what we need on most homes. Grinder pumps and macerator pumps are for special purpose needs, where they're actually going to grind up and macerate the sewage or whatever's coming out. It could be on an industrial plant where you have, bones or something in there that's got to be ground up. Those pumps are generally, unless they're on a very large scale, much slower discharge than a regular sewage ejector pump. That would be for a residential service. On top of that, if they are for industrial, they're going to be huge. They're also about 3 to 4 times the cost of a normal sewage ejector pump. Not that there's not a place for grinder pumps, but I just want most of you residential service plumbers out there to know, when you go to get a pump for a home that needs a sewage ejector pump, you don't say, I need a grinder pump. You say, I need a sewage ejector pump. And oftentimes you can buy them as a package unit, as you'll see in the pictures. You can buy the sump, the pump, everything made together. And that's the best way to get it. That way everything is matched up and working properly. There's a lot of great manufacturers. There's Zoller, there's Barnes, there's Little Giant, all kinds of pump manufacturers. There's a lot of them that are like ProFlow from Ferguson that are proprietary to certain places. These pumps, most of them are good pumps. Again, like we talked about earlier, you need to match the pump to what's there already if you're not putting in a new one. If you are putting in a new one, you need to make sure that you match the head pressure you need. How high are you going to have to pump this sewage? Is it down in a basement and you're going to have to pump it up a floor or two to get it out? Is it outside the house where you're just going to have to pump it up 3 or 4 feet and go maybe 200 or 300 feet farther to get it out to the city sewer? Regardless, those things all need to be taken into consideration when you're sizing and purchasing your pump. Make sure you size your pump right. Now, where do you locate the pump? How deep do you put it? Generally, we don't like to put them inside underneath the house, like in a crawl space. You usually want it outside because this pump's going to need to be serviced. There's no doubt. Things can get in it, stop it up. The pump can just fail. You need to service the pump. Outside, close to the house is one of the best things to do. You need it close to the house too, because sewage ejector pumps, unlike sump pumps, sewage ejector pumps have to have a vent off of them. And that vent needs to be treated just like a sanitary sewer vent. It needs to go above the roof and be vented out so that that pump can have air to breathe. If not, it would airlock inside that pump and it wouldn't be able to pump out anymore. Then you'd have a pump that was stopped up. You got to make sure and vent your pump. Therefore, you can't just put this out in the middle of the yard and not vent it, unless you've got it deep enough that you can run the vent underground. You also need to have access to the top of it. So if you do have to set it extra deep, you need to make sure that you buy the extension rings that go on top of it. This thing has a sealed top. Sewage ejector pumps must be sealed because they are sewage water. If not, you would get a tremendous amount of odor, not to mention sewage water coming out, things that go in and out of that, bugs, critters, whatever. You don't want that. You can't have that. It wouldn't meet the health code. You've got to seal it up to make it sanitary. Therefore, we have to have the vent, we have to have it close to the house, and we need to have access to inside it. That's a sewage ejector pump. It will pump solids up to 2 inch. Feminine hygiene products, that sort of thing, usually will go right on through it. If enough went down it could stop it up. Works great. Make sure it's a sewage ejector pump, not a grinder pump. It'll have an opening in the bottom about that big, and it will pump a lot of things out. And it pumps very quickly to keep up with toilets flushing and that sort of thing. Also, how big is your sump? Well, a lot of times that will have to do with how deep is your sewer pipe coming out of the house. The shallower the pipe is coming out of the house, the better off you are. The deeper the pipe is coming out of the house, the deeper your sump's going to have to be. Also, make sure that you have some sort of alarm or something of that nature on it so that the people can know if it stops up or quits working. That way, sewage won't back up in their home. They won't get a sewage flood or an overflowed toilet inside the house. One last thing on sump pumps and sewage ejector pumps, generally, you have to have a backwater valve on your discharge line. That way it keeps any head pressure from falling back into the pump. So if it pumps up 10 feet and it shuts off, that water that went 10 feet up is going to fall back in the pump if you don't have some type of backwater or check valve on it. You have to stop that water from coming back, because if you do let it come back into the pump, then it's going to cause the pump to short cycle on and off, trying to just push that column of water out all the time. Make sure you have a good backwater valve or check valve on your discharge line, whether it's a sump pump or a sewage ejector pump or any type of pump that is pumping water out like this. That's a sewage ejector pump. They're not that difficult. Just don't get them confused with grinder pumps and don't get them confused with sump pumps. Make sure you have the right pump for the right job. Just like with the sump pumps, there's lots of great brands out there. Most of your major manufacturers make really good pumps. Some of your supply houses that are large supply houses have one that's their proprietary name, like ProFlow. There's Barnes, there's Zoller, there is Little Giant. They also make smaller size sumps that fit just right underneath the cabinet or under a sink. If you can't get to a drain, you can pump it up overhead and back down into a drain. Just make sure you tie it in properly to meet code. All of these things are great about sewage ejector pumps. You just, as we've said, have to make sure and match the right pump to the right situation. Also remember, we talk about sump pumps and sewage ejector pumps. Both of them are in sump pits. But a sump pump does storm water. The sewage ejector pump is in a specialized sump that's made just for them. They have vents off the top. They have sealed entrances to them. Lots of different things about the sump. They generally do not interchange. So, don't get it confused. A lot of information, right? Man, it just seems like there's never-ending information that you have to learn as a plumber. I hope now you know the difference between a sump and a sewage ejector pump. You know what a sump pump pumps. You know what a sewage ejector pump pumps. And you know how to size them, what to do properly on it. The sewage ejector pump is a great option if it's the last resort. It's always better not to have to use a pump if you don't have to. But when you do have to, we have the ability to do it. Remember, we can make it go uphill now. So, give this a thumbs up if you like this video. Let me know what your experiences are with sewage ejector pumps and sumps. And I look forward to seeing you next time here on Serving Up Plumbing. Don't forget to tell your friends the Butler did it.